Hello everybody, my name is Marsh, and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Secret Project Number 2 by Brandon Sanderson. Let's jump into it. Okay, Secret Project Number 2, also known as the Frugal Wizard's Hand Guide to Surviving Medieval England. Close enough. I think I got one word wrong, but it's a really long title. I had to look back to check. Anyways, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm going to give you a brief, spoiler-free synopsis of what the story is about, some pros and cons, my thoughts on certain things, and let you know overall my verdict for the book. Before we get started though, if you can leave a like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Other than that though, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So, to start off, I just wanted to give a brief synopsis of what this is sort of about without going into spoilers. To be honest, if you want to explain it, just look at the title, The Frugal Wizard's Hand Guide to Surviving Medieval England. So basically, some type of wizard is in medieval England. I don't know. I don't want to really say much because I don't want to spoil anything. But essentially, the story is about this character who's thrown into this world that he's not familiar with, and about him surviving this world and figuring out what's going on around him, as well as figuring out what's going on with him and himself, if that makes sense. In terms of like genres that I would say this is connected with, it's sort of a mix between isekai, cyberpunk, mystery, thriller, redemption, underdog story. It's a lot of things mixed together at once, but it kind of just works, if that makes sense. But going into that, since we're already on that topic, I want to talk about my first pro of this book, and that would be with its world building. Now, with the world building, the world Brandon Sanderson built is very interesting. There's two specific aspects to this world and certain things that go in between and connect them together that I find very interesting. And the way that he fleshes certain things out, whether it's based off of religion, powers, science, certain things that are present, it's very interesting. Probably my favorite part about the book is the world building and the universe that is built here itself, because it's not Cosmere, as we know. In that same aspect though, the world building is amazing, but it leads me to my first con, which is also within that world building. I feel like there's certain aspects of it that are more interesting than other things, and so I wanted to explore certain things more in one direction, but our characters were going off in another direction. That's somewhat personal taste though, so I'm not going to really hold it against the book, but that's how I was feeling. But other than the world itself, what about the overall story and plot? Overall, I'd give it a positive grade. It's adequate. It does its job. I don't think it's an innovative or an amazing story. There's certain things that I find pretty interesting about it, and certain like twists that you may not see coming, some people may see coming, but I think it's pretty good overall. That being said though, probably my least favorite thing about this book would be in regards to the characters. I feel like the characters, I just had a tough time connecting with them overall. I was never really emotionally attached to any of them like I was in the first Secret Project. And so therefore, a lot of the beats and moments that happen were just hard for me to get into because I never really felt a connection with those characters. I don't know if it's the characters themselves or part of the setting that's involved that's causing me to feel that way, but I didn't find them as unique and interesting as I found the characters in Secret Project Number 1. Not to compare the two, but they are both by the same author, but that's probably my biggest complaint is with the characters. I think they're just adequate. They're not bad, but they're not good enough to get me attached to them to feel these emotional beats when certain things happen in the story. That being said though, going into a pro, that'd be the writing/prose. So the prose is pretty normal Brandon Sanderson prose. It's not very flowery. It's simple, straight to the point. But I think what he does is a good humorous prose or a good sense of humor. I guess that would also be part of the writing itself. There's pretty funny parts. I actually chuckled out loud a few times reading this, and I mean, I don't really audibly chuckle at books that often, so that's always a positive, to be honest. And so that's one good thing to look at when it comes to that. But I think the funniest things are these like interludes or these sections in between chapters. I don't want to say what they're about because it's going to spoil some stuff. Or I guess it's in the title. In terms of the handbook, like the chapters we get from this handbook, I find are pretty funny for the most part. And they're a nice break between the chapters. Outside of the writing and prose, though, I would say the overall feeling and themes in this book are fairly positive and optimistic for the most part. I feel like it's a happy story. Definitely not a tragedy, but it's a happy story. There's some twists, some things that happen, but it's overall a positive message that's given, I would say, and makes you smile at the end of it. And it's kind of nice. With all this being said, though, and combining all this, what do I think about it overall? What's my final verdict on the Frugal Wizard's Hand Guide or Handbook to Surviving Medieval England? I think it's an average novel. It's kind of short. There's certain things I wish they would explore more in terms of the novel itself, and if it was maybe extended and a few things were added to explore different aspects, which I can't really talk about because of spoiler reasons, then I think it would have been more enjoyable. Ranking the two secret projects right now, I think Tress is well above this one. This one is kind of lowest. I don't know about the Outer Public, but this was kind of the secret project I was least excited about when it came to them all. And I mean, it's still adequate and a nice story, but I don't think it's anything I'll be going back to anytime soon or wanting like a sequel for. It's just nice, and it's a nice little one-time thing, I would say. And it's adequate. Sorry if I'm not super positive about it, but that's just how I feel. It's just okay for me. Nothing special. Tress is definitely my favorite so far, and actually one of my favorite things that Brandon Sanderson has written so far, especially with the shortness of it and how concise it is. But overall, the story was good. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Please don't give any spoilers, though. This is a spoiler-free review, so I don't want you to spoil anything for anyone else. But let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments below. Other than that, though, if you could leave a like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.